intuitively connect from within. And it's woo-woo time, where we connect our woo-woo into our mundane living. Hello, this is Sylvia, Colorful Foresight. How are you? Today we're going to do a recap of the video that I uploaded recently with Laura called Kids from the Universe. So Kids from the Universe, getting signs, are they woo-woo or real? Sometimes they're woo-woo, but real. But sometimes you think it's a woo-woo, it's not real, right? But in this video, it's under 7 minutes. I'm going to show you. She shows you pictures of no matter where she goes, she attracts hearts. And I've seen it for myself. We'll be walking together, and there's a heart box, the heart this, the heart that. When her husband sweat, there's a heart stain. So these things happen. And because she allow it, it happens more. So what are you attracting? So let me show you the vibe that's going to happen going 2025 in the world of as if they're the female president in the world. But this is not politics, but that's the energy we're going. So recap, Kids from the Universe. Let's see the video of that. And then I'll come back and you speak with me, okay? Yum, yum. So let's start. We'll go around here somewhere. This is Laura. She's talking about heart shape, blah, blah, blah. And how at first she was resistant to it, but then she started opening up to
like something. I had received like a dish with like hearts on them, and I was like, no, I don't want the hearts. I want apples instead. And I exchanged it because I'm like, oh, I don't like hearts. So I think hearts have been trying to get to me, and I don't know why it was blocking it. So you fast forward, I want to say fast forward 20 years. And I want to say I started seeing hearts about 12 years ago. Like I really started to open my eyes. And at first I just realized, I look down, I'd see a heart, or I would, look up in the sky and I would see a heart cloud. Or I would look at the back of my husband's shirt after he got out of the gym and there was a heart, And at some point I was like, what are all these signs? But I just, Sylvia, I just kind of opened my heart to it. I think that's really what it is. I just kind of opened my mind. I'm like, all right. At first I thought it was just, a coincidence, but then they start coming. And since then I see them all the time.
And they're cool. They have so many different variation of heart in these pictures. They're amazing. So I think when you started to be more aware of it and accepting, then it just happened all the time. And I witnessed it myself. So I find that great. I feel everybody has a way of attracting a way of spirit to try and get your attention. And yours was through the heart. I attract angels with hearts sometimes, but I don't attract hearts. So it's not something you could force, really. So I like that it's naturally happening. And what's impressive, your family starts seeing it too.
I think that's the best. That's the best result. Like out of all of this is that now, even yourself, Sylvia, everyone will say, oh my gosh, I saw a heart today. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful way to share the love and share the intuition or the openness of like spirit, like what you're saying. If I were really thinking about 20 years ago when I was blocking it, I think I was afraid. I didn't know, what it was. And it was a little bit, I don't know what the right word is, but it didn't feel natural when it should have felt natural. So I was growing too. and it took me some time to kind of feel more comfortable to be okay with spirit and be okay with signs, and know that it's never anything bad. It's always something uplifting, and the way that spirit or angels are talking to you, or just you know um the unseen. I think in general people are getting nervous about the unseen, but if you just feel into it and be a little bit more relaxed around it, it's pretty beautiful.
What I like is that sometimes people think when they're getting into spirituality um, that it feels good. Sometimes we're afraid of it, like just because you didn't understand it at the time. So just because it feels not great at that moment doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And also, even with the unseen, we have to be mindful where this energy coming from. But when you have something like the heart, that's like a safe. I feel like a safe energy that you're attracting. And do you have anything before we wrap up this video? Like,
So basically, that's the premise of this video. Hi, Fatima. So, good afternoon. How are you? So, Laura, if you just saw the video, and I'll put the link on top, the whole video is under 8 minutes. He literally tracks heart symbols everywhere. And at first, she was making it like a coincidence. Then she wanted to control it and make it Apple. So I could see that for myself. But there's certain things people track naturally, whatever individual for each person. And it's consistent with her. But, I get different symbols as life goes on. It's also depending on what I focus. But this is so important in your life because you belong to a lot of spiritual group. You follow these leaders and whatever. But this channel is about you tuning in from within, and you don't have to be special, even though we're all special. And some are naturally more inclined because it's in their life path or they work at it. So, what is the message for today? Have you been getting any sign and synchronicity? Put in a comment. What about you, Fatima? Have you got any signs and synchronicity lately? I've been focusing so much on the political climate that that's the energy I'm attracting. So that's coming in my dream. It's not as pretty. You know what I mean? But what's pretty is that I'm attracting, seeing new political psychics that are saying what I'm feeling. So those are like the type of signs that I'm getting lately. But if I go back to when I used to go on the road and I used to go, okay, I want to see Angel, or I want to see the color blue, or I want to see the name Pauline, and I would see it on the highway, like within 10 to 15 minutes. So there's something to that, you know? So anything come to your mind, Fatima? So I pulled some cards while you guys think, and it's about getting signs. Are they woo-woo or they're real? Well, they are woo-woo until they're real to you. It's what you make of it. But then sometimes the woo-woo is not real. So is it woo-woo or real? In Laura's case, it's real because she had a lot of pictures. I've hung out with her and we see hearts. So there's only so much could be a coincidence. Maybe one time, two times, but when it's constant. So what is it for you? You probably don't even notice. But once she said that at first, it's been like 20 years, and then after a while, like 12 years ago, she started. Once she was open to it, then it became more obvious. So there are signs that you're getting that are benevolent in nature, that are woo-woo and real. But it depends on how open you are. And, there are reasons we should protect ourselves, but something like the heart, pick a positive energy. If like if you do the paranormal, you have to be careful with the paranormal. Or if you do ghost stuff, you have to do protection, da da da. But something like heart, love, angel, dove, birds, butterfly, things like that. You guys probably on the road, you read the what do you call it? The car license thingy, and they'll have a word that you were thinking of that day. What happened is the more you notice, the more you attract it. That's basically what it is. So this is what it is. Signs are things that make us laugh and giggle, like wow. sometimes makes your life awesome. When you get like signs like heart symbols all the time, it just makes your life better, like the Four of Wands. And she shares it with her family and with me. So it's like a party in a way, like, oh my God, look what the universe is providing. How cool it's showing up at the leap. It's showing up at this. It's showing up at that. So as you're open to it, it physically start manifesting. Because you got the Ace of Coins. The pentacle are material, physical, earth stuff. So it actually shows up for Laura. If you look in the beginning of the video, it started on her floor. She see on her concrete an actual heart. She see a leaf, a heart, a cloud. So it's actually showing up physically. If we wanted to, we could have ET disclosed and we could have Mother Mary Jesus show up in person, but we would freak out. Can you imagine? One thing to feel it, to see it, to believe it, or see a sign or symbol, but they actually show up in 3D right in front of you at the form. You freak out. Takes us a while to get used to. So Fatima is surrounded by angels, Saint Mary, and Jesus, and peaceful thing. Oh, that's amazing. Even like on your channel, your brother, a lot of his stuff, he does either music or nature stuff. So you are surrounded by beautiful things. If family of family, but nature is beautiful, music is beautiful. But it's like how we manifest that. We can manifest those things, but how about manifesting things we want that not showing up, like income, money, right? So maybe we have to see abundance in a different way, things like that. So Ace of Pentacle, she worked at it. Sign of synchronicity. Once you start paying attention, Laura, it became more, it flowed. It just flowed. And the Ace of Swords. So now it's in her mind about sign and synchronicity, not just some woo-woo. Now the real thing. Not only is she seeing the sign in the real, which is real, seeing the woo-woo in the real, but it's also in her mind frame to accept it. The mind is all about what blocks and what opens, And then what happened? It flows. You get that universal flow between, is it woo-woo or real? Unseen and seen. The real is seen. The woo-woo is sometimes unseen. Like the cell phone would have been a woo-woo thing 20 years ago. But now it's real because it's physical. So what's going to be interesting as time goes by and technology change, you hear about like, what do you call it? The one that you don't use a screen, but you have like, it's like you use a movie thing and it's, what do you call it? It's like a projector and they could see it in front of you. Remind me of Star Wars when they used to like communicate from other people from other galaxies. Came up like in a screen. So that going to be less concrete material, but it just is real. It's just in a different form. So it's kind of like the spirit. The spirit going to be like that projector, maybe not as solid, but you're going to see it more versus just feel it. So it becomes more real. So how it like spirit going to show up in different form, it becomes real, literally in a sign or like in a mist or things like that. So that's really interesting. Anything else come to your mind as you listen to that, Fatima, and whoever else is watching this? So what is woo-woo or real? Sometimes I would be like, well, and when I first started my journey, and I'd be like, yes, all these woo-woo are real. And then I found out, oh my God, that orb on my picture came from that light or came from the sun. And then I would be embarrassed. And I'd be like, oh my God. No, it only taught me that just because the woo-woo are real, there are some evidence that prove those woo-woo not real. And then sometime, third factor, they show evidence that that woo-woo is not real, but it's still real. So let's explore that. What the heck that mean? I have no idea. That just popped in my head. So what comes to your mind? So we're working on the third aspect. That it's woo-woo, it's real, but it's coming up as not real. They might even prove it not real. So what is that about? What's the message for that? That's interesting. We went from woo-woo real that both woo are real, and sometimes the woo not real, to it woo real but shown as not real. Well, I guess that's probably like a lot of things right now. We got news of ET, the Pentagon, that people dismissed it. Disinformation, people making up stories, they make up lies, their creativity, like on YouTube. So now we don't even know, like especially in artificial intelligence, what's real and what's not real. So just because there's a lot of people faking it or lying does not mean the UFOs and stuff are not real. So that's where our intuition comes to play. And that's why it's so important at this time frame we go into the world of everybody utilizing intuition. Not that everybody has to be kumbaya or metaphysical or new age. Hi, Joe. They could be Christian, they could be Muslim, but they've been used to praying to this unseen thing. What if their form, their divine, comes in form? They would freak out, right? They come in a mist or in a form. Then our mind kind of blocks it. A lot of time when I'm with different groups and we see like honey coming out of the picture or something, I find that my mind blocked it. I can't believe it. Or it's there, but it's something like that. Our mind, it just shows how powerful it is. Joe, gee, how are you? Been a while. I mean, if you think about it, we live in a world of spirituality and of or religion where we're praying to what? The unseen energy. So is it real or not? And then we know some people probably praying to things that maybe not even fully accurate or not a true representative of what Jesus really is, what Mother Mary really is, or what a ET really is, or what different form of divine in all different culture, what is Buddha, unless you meet them. And even then, it's going to be different for each person. If you have 8 million people, your Jesus and Mother Mary, even if that appeared in front of you, you have a relationship going to be different for each person. Kind of think of it like, how come sometime, I mean, not same, but similar. How come sometime you have one father and the father had 5 children, right? And each children see their father in a different way. One doesn't like him. One had the challenge. The other one think he's great. The other one, this. So kind of like that. So depending on us, and I guess our energy with that other thing. Been doing good. Sure glad I have learned to tune in and keep the faith. Holy moly, right? Yes, the faith of what going to save us. Gotta have faith. Ooh, okay. So let's shuffle a card. What card is the faith card? I'm curious. What card could be faith? Now, if I go offhand, I would think maybe something like the star card, right? I don't know. Maybe the Hierophant. What would you think is faith? So let's see what the tarot card has for us to teach us about what faith is. Well, interesting. This card came out. I would never think it's faith. But if you look at this card, like the image of this particular card from the life there, she looked like she's praying. She had faith. She's very grounded. So sometimes we think faith is something unseen that's not there. But faith is being grounded and connected to the things around you. I didn't even think of that. Connecting to the community, maybe making us feel better. So I would never think that faith. Would you? I would never think the 5 of Cups had to do with faith either. Maybe it just had to do with, we get disappointed. We may not be seeing it, but we still have the faith of it somehow. Like what we're going through, a lot of us on the current event thing. And we talk about what's woo-woo or real. If you got 2 sides of the party, first of all, both are accurate and not accurate, right? Both sides. But you got one on blind faith that's supporting something not great, and then the other one who's hoping to have it continue faith. It's very interesting. So what is woo-woo? What is real? So we're all dealing with that. So Joe said tower could be faith. Oh, like have sudden inspiration, or like seeing something like pop out of the air, or a feeling. Yes, love the light, stay a Queen of Pentacle, grounding to the Mother Earth is essential. Totally. And not the physical thing, that's real. You can't even say the woo-woo thing. It's just she's so grounded. It's like in her body, it's in her essence, it's into what I don't know, something like that, and all that jazz. Easier to keep faith when I am grounded, too. Especially if I'm in my head in my fear, or I'm feeling in my body. Forget it. I can't even hear anything, intuitively. Thankfully, we're talking about sign and synchronicity. I've been getting YouTube sign and synchronicity. One way to divine, and I know for you guys, especially probably you that are watching, you get sign and synchronicity with the right video that shows up, right? You hear about people who watch a movie and they get that message. Going back to our talking about how they're the one father and 5 children, and they each have different relationship to the father, same father, or the divine. You have 5 different people for Jesus, but they're all gonna have a different relationship with Jesus. But who's right and who's wrong? So I just lost my thought. So we'll move ahead. Teaching you to keep faith in all the chaos, let go, God, power, insight. Yeah, that's a challenging one. So how did that work with sign? So let's do on the content of this video. We're gonna make story, entertainment purpose only. Teaching you keep faith in all the chaos, let go to let God. Let me show them what the tower card looked like. So what does that look like? Just to give you the visual. Oh, perfect. So here's the tower that Joe is talking about on the lights there. But most tower had that kind of vibe going on. You see the light striking in the original tower or the earlier tower. They have where it's on a tower like the old way, and the light striking and 2 people fall out. So that could be the bad, or it can mean many things. So here's the tower, keeping your faith in all the chaos, let go, tower insight. So how did that work getting the signs when it's real or woo-woo? To each of their own is what I think with the 5 children analogy. So that goes with the faith thing too. So the signs, are they woo-woo or real? So I showed in the beginning of the video, Joe. I mean, it uploaded the whole video. That's a recap for Kiss from the Universe video with Laura. And she is a regular person. She don't even do like the woo-woo stuff. And she was attracting hearts everywhere, not just in a mind or on her own. Got to the point where her family was seeing it with her. They'll be walking with her. I would be walking with her, and I see heart rocks. I see heart this, heart that. So at first she denied it, and then she wanted to control and make an apple sign versus heart. But there's a reason why we all attract different signs, our own sign ongoing. So that showed it was real because you were seeing the leaf fully formed heart. You would see like a stain on the floor heart. Her husband would sweat and it would be in a heart shape. The rocks would be in heart. So those are real. It's woo-woo, but it's real. So that's the same thing of how if we were really open, talk about the tower and breaking our mind limitation, we would see our divine in a form, or more like a form. Because even though I'm into the woo and all that, I had one night I was sleeping and somebody grabbed my legs, and then I have a mirror in front of my bed. I saw a smoke in front of it. It scared the crap out of me. That didn't happen often. And I was like, I do not like that. When I talked to my spiritual mentor, I said, I noticed my heart was warm. My body was calm, but my mind was like doing all the prayers, the spirit, Archangel Michael, please protect me, da 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 da. And she started laughing. She goes, first of all, she's pulling your leg, and then somehow we figured out my aunt who passed over. And I told her, don't do that. If you're gonna come to me, do it while I'm awake or when I'm in a dream state. But that physical freaked me out, even though I'm into the woo-woo. If God and Jesus, like I mentioned many times in video, came form, it would take me a while to get used to. Same thing why you need ET disclosure, and they have slow information that coming out little by little by little, things like that. Yeah, or you could just go to the video under video session, and you'll see Kit from Universe. But you could just watch this part too. I don't show the whole video though. But maybe I'll put it on top of this video, the link after. So evolution. So the tower. This is the signs of woo-woo or real. Form or formless, they're both real. Sometimes it's proven that it's not real. That's fine. But now we're going back to the third scene where it's woo-woo, real, but it's being denied. So even though the physical evidence is there, even, we're not just talking about the formless, we're talking about the form, the scene. It's still being shown as unreal, depending on what people are saying about it. They could kind of gaslight you, say, oh, ET's not real. Spirituality is the only way. Just being Muslim, just being Christian, just being this, just being that is the way. Even New Age, just being New Age is the way. It's not. There's so many things. The universe is infinite. So Joe's direct you a broken quartz heart at a store last week. It called me, reminding me of the three of sword. There is an inclusion that look like a gateway with a neck to the break. Heal our heart. Interesting. So how that... So that's interesting. Getting signs or symbol, that could be like a course and connecting with your intuition. And the sign, a broken quartz heart, it called to her. Are you going through a heartbreak? Is it that because of what happened, what's been happening politically in the U.S., like a heart been broken? It's kind of interesting, that sign you're seeing, kind of like giving you that hope, faith, that course, that heart thing. So were you heartbroken by that by any chance? I don't know what your stance on that. Oh, so Fatima, it was the day after the election. Yeah, that's traumatizing. You know what's interesting? The day after the election, my body was unusually calm. Like the most calm than the days after. But my mind was like, that like what? It's like kind of funky. And thank God all these other videos start popping up, which you probably see in the last 2 live video I did, kind of give you an idea. And you and I probably follow a lot of similar political psychics, but city that was very democratic. Yeah, I can imagine. That's interesting, So sometimes we have personal signs that we have our divine. Like Laura had the heart, no matter what. Been following her for 20 years, at least what she knows. Might have been since she was childhood. But then we have like the at the moment kind of sign, right? Is it woo-woo or real? Considering you found that, sometimes we can make meaning to things. Like we could look at a course, go, of course it represents the heartbreak. We can make meaning. We're meaning-making machine, especially the more we go into the new age, the more we go into self-help. Our mind gets sharper, but then we start making meaning to it. And that's the form of having it. I don't know. That funny, the energy, broken heart. It was really interesting. But unusually calm. It was weird, Joe. Like now I'm like, the only thing that keeps me safe is watching like pop-up video from Sterling Psychic Medium, things like that. Like, whoa. Now we're wondering, all the political psychics we've been following that have been accurate, but you could see some of them questioning themselves, like, was the vision real or not? That's example number 3, where it is woo-woo and real, but we're seeing evidence not. So a lot of us are doing pendulum, which Fatima did last week. The former guy going to be a president? No, for 2025. It's Kamala going to be a president in 25? Yes. So it's woo-woo, because we're using woo-woo tool. It's real. We have enough intuition, confident, because we've been doing it for a while. And then we also watch people who are in the field for 30 years. They do reading, but they're seeing otherwise. So it's very interesting time. So this is, I don't know, I'm jumping all over, but it's really interesting. So let's go back with, the store, Angel of Light. So not only get that course, it's in a, it's like the angel will kind of like try and keep you, I think. I don't know why they gave you all, but maybe that's just your relationship. You needed that kind of coarse heart and whatever the connection you have with it. The light seemed dim. I think the light is brighter, if anything. The resistance coming out, the truth starting to come out. But yeah, I know what you mean. That's true. The next day we felt like, what? Especially people who don't do spiritual stuff or follow spiritual, I guess, stuff. They have to really handle this. I don't know how. Everybody, probably some people probably just stopped watching news. They probably went into nature. They probably start cleaning their life up. It's like very, very like, wow. So, okay. So real quick, I just want to go back to Fatima saying that I was talking about the experience I had when my aunt pulled my leg in my dream. She's on the other side, and I was freaked out by it. Even though I'm into the woo woo, I'm still like. So she said her grandmother had done something physically that scared her. Uh, oh, not physically. She came through your dream, but I wouldn't. Why did that scare you if it's in a dream? It wasn't like, you know what? Sometimes we have stuff in a dream that still scares us. So Joe, let's continue with Joe. What did Joe? She's using little crystal to pray for the healing or Mother Earth and all life sharing the planet. Right. It would dim in the store and that one vibrant street city. But you know what's interesting? Half of the population. Oh, you saw her awake. So you knew she was gone, but you saw her awake. That would freak you out. Sure. I saw. Oh, I saw her when I was awake. Oh, when you for the first time. Yeah, that would freak. If I had my grandmother, to, yeah, that would freak me out. You know what's interesting? It was like a month or two ago. We're talking about signs, but it's not a continuous sign. But is it woo woo or real? This is where I'm like, was that real or not? That's why having confidence in your intuition does help, because sometimes we could think, oh, I saw this, but it was made up with imagination. For real. Not like sometimes we think imagination is real, because a lot of time I'll think it's imagination, especially when we get into like tuning in from within. We think it's imagination, then we find out it's real. A lot of you watching political psychics are your intuition getting stronger because you had the feeling, but you didn't know. And then you watch it, they're saying the same thing you thought. That helping you to build that confidence like the bank. So, hi, Jeff. How are you? It's been a while. Oh, well, I'm glad you said hello. Hello. So, I was going back to, I was in the living room and my mother in her chair, and there's the two chairs in the living room. The other chair, for a second, I glanced, and it felt like my. And at first, I didn't like it. I'm like, why are you there? Are you gonna take my mama? But what? Maybe the lady was just chilling with my mother. She is the mother. Maybe just blessing her. Maybe it was my aunt. I don't know. But that's when I'm like, was that real? I think that was real only because I was not thinking about it. And but sometimes, you'll be walking and you think you saw something in the corner of your eyes. It was nothing. It was probably a shadow. So getting the sign, are they woo-woo or they're real? Jeff, you have any signs that you had today that is woo-woo and real? You have to watch the video from the beginning to kind of get the whole story. But since you're coming midway, maybe you have something to share. Well, Fatima, that's normal. Like Laura said in the video, she was getting signs of hearts for 20 years. And then she tried control to make it a certain way. Like maybe we'll be like, I don't want to see grandma in that way. I want to see in my dream. But maybe she wanted to show up in a physical form when you woke up or something like that. We try even control the unseen. We try to control what we think the universe is. The only way we can control is I go Archangel Michael. Anything that comes in, make sure it comes through you. So I have to have trust. My aunt came, great aunt came through him. But the controlling thing, what is woo-woo, what is real, that's really interesting. So yeah. So anyway, going back, we're not used to it. That's it. So she was scared of receiving heart. How nice is that? To see heart every day. Not only that, her husband sees the hearts around her appearing, her children seeing that. How that affect the whole family. Yeah. What happened is, talked to my grandma. They were telling her that she was dying, and she called for you. So, yeah, no, it's okay. Right now, she will understand better. So, okay, so anything we want to do before we wrap up? Anything you want to talk about, Joe? Because that might inspire like another 10-minute conversation. So see how the kids from the universe gain the signs are woo-woo or real. Sometimes it's fake, but sometimes it's woo-woo and real. And that's where we're going to start seeing more and more. It's just happening. It's part of the awakening process, part of the Aquarian age, it's part of the golden movement. It's just a naturally occurring thing. We make it like, but it's just how it is. So anything you guys want to add before we wrap up? Let's see. Let's shuffle some cards. A message before we wrap up for these people who stumbling, watching kids from the universe. You're getting signs that, oh, you've been getting them for 20, 30 years. You realize, oh, they were always around. And how are they woo-woo? They're still showing up in an unseen way, but they've been showing up in a real way through signs, through on the movie, through when you drive, you see the sign, the license thing, or have a word that you were thinking of. It's physical, and it's the way that we feel comfortable in. Until we are more comfortable, more open to the angel coming 3D in front of you and telling you, otherwise you freak out. So woo-woo or real or both? It's both. So let's see, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap up with this. Let's wrap up for woo-woo and real. What's the message for the people watching this? Woo-woo and real. And real, not or. And it becomes a new normal, like the cell phone. It would have been considered a scientific kind of thing. But the cell phone 20 years ago, you hear me say it many times, it would consider woo-woo. You had everything like acting like a computer in a phone. You could talk to people from other country and all that. That's real. That's a sci-fi thing. The Star Trek. Remember Star Trek? So certain things it's not like about divine intervention. It's like ghosts. Now ghost scientists have tools that they could hear the ghost voice. You could see the form and things like that. It's how much we are open to it. A lot of things around us already that our mind are blocking. It's right there, you know? Joe's been very blessed with woo-woo experiences. Woo! That's because you're open to it, you know? Woo-woo! But we call it the control, like, well, only to a point, but like that is benevolent in nature. You know, I act Archangel Michael, that you're in charge, what comes through, etc. I still get nightmares and stuff. So I wonder about that. Is that just picking up the energy of? Yeah. Your brother-in-law spoke on a Ghost Box channel. He had the link? Send me that link. Or you just mean he was talking about a Ghost Box channel. So let's talk about that. We'll end it with, what is that about, the Ghost Box channel? That is an example of woo-woo and real. When these energies start communicating through technology. If you think about it, the ETs are sort of communicating with us through that. Like the Pentagon, when they released that video, you see that ship. Because they have ability to cloak themselves. Cloak. CLOAK. So why sometimes they're seen and not seen? So that's an example of a ghost box per se. Ghost in the sense that it's unseen. And the box is physical, right? You hear the voice. You hear words come out, right? It had to do with the frequency and all that. So same thing with ET disclosure. It's going to be like that. They're around us. They've been living in Earth around, who knows? But suddenly they're going to uncloak themselves. That's got to be for a reason. I just ate some, it's not kimchi, it's like a Korean thing, but they have a radish. You get what they're called. It start with the G, but it's radish with like red pepper and stuff. It's so delicious. Paranormal New York. Let me do a research. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I don't like some of those ghost box. I don't feel like some of them they're using it for attention, or I don't know what they're, but the one that using it correctly or informative, I like those ghost box YouTube channel. But because they have a lot of like people doing things online for intention, or they're twisting the truth, they're putting the truth in it. You don't know. They're looking for things. That's why we need our intuition more than ever in the world of AI. So, what's funny? Joe, check this out. And Fatima. So we're going to look at the image. So this card is the Eight of Swords. So here is the perfect example we're talking about. Here we're afraid, right? And here the reality. So that could be like somebody who's bulimic or had anorexia, or they have body image. Look, they look this way, but they see themselves as awful. So it's like the mind play games, right? So same thing with like a ghost box. We have things around us that are unseen. They could probably be like this, but we don't see them because this is what our mind can handle. So we kind of block it out. Isn't that interesting? I don't know what the Three of Swords is, but interesting. The Three of Swords, since Joe is here, we're going to make it about the crystal. So she got that, the day after election, a broken-hearted crystal, quartz crystal, which represents the heart. In the shop called Angel Heart or something. But look what's being replaced with. Ace of Cups. So fullness, healing of the heart. And then the Page of Wands, we're going with it's about communication. Going with sign. Laura, going back to the video, we're representing what it's about, the kid from universe. She was getting heart sign for 20 years. It's probably since childhood. But she was not open to it. She was afraid of it. We're afraid of the unseen. Even if it's positive at the heart or angel, you know what I mean? So it's about you going more into communication. It's also focus. Because I've been so focused on political stuff. I've been dreaming positive and negative stuff and seeing. So, but in the past, I used to go on the road and drive. You heard me. And I used to say, okay, I want to see this color car. Like bright Petmo Binmo pink. And suddenly in 10 minutes, a bright school bus, Petmo pink school bus. Like, what is the chance of that? And then one time on the road while I'm driving, I'm like, well, okay, I want to see a heart and Pauline. Kid you not, within 15, 20 minutes, my cousin was there in the car with me. We saw like a graffiti on the side of the highway. I heart Pauline. So why, I don't know why I don't do that anymore. Like, it goes to show, like, I should be focusing on that, on maybe seeing what I want to see. I don't know. That's pretty interesting. So Joe is saying, some people I trust invited me there. Wait, let me do. Oh, okay. She's going back about this ghost box thing on YouTube. Something like Paranormal New York. She's looking at it. My internet shoddy, so I don't know if I'm coming in and out. But Paranormal New York, she's going to look. She said some people told her about it, invited her there. She was not expecting anything. Then she heard her name and his voice. Yeah, we put up the veil. Oh, See the eight of hearts shine within that broken heart. They're the natural occlusion that shines that bright, right? Wow, that's a great ending to this video. So, let me know in a comment like what other topic you want us to talk about. I think Saturday sometime is good for you guys, or Thursday night, on a weekday. So let me know what topic thing. Cause I'm gonna do current event and some political, because there's a reason why a lot of people suddenly do political, not because they want views. In fact, I have 400 something people. There are people who just started there talking about politics. They said that their divine came through, told them to do it. They never did it. Now they suddenly have 11,000 people. So those people are meant to do what they're supposed to do. They're very good. They see what I'm seeing. So I stick with that. So what happened is that because if you notice, a lot of us, maybe some of you don't follow political psychic, but a lot of us like Joe and I think Fatima, we watch the same we watch the same political psychic, and they have like same 80,000 people, 100,000. The fact that there are other political psychics that are appearing on YouTube, especially after election, it's helping that people maybe never even watch a political psychic. It's going to help people follow the intuition. Like, oh, I thought this was odd about this. I thought that was odd about that. This is an example of when the woo-woo becomes real. How is it all these other people are seeing what I'm seeing? Oh my God, maybe this is real. Maybe this is not my head. Maybe this is not wishful thinking, and all that jazz. So anyway, you take care. Thank you for coming on, Joe and Fatima. I appreciate. And for those of you who are watching after the fact, let me know what you thought. Take care. And I'll try to put the original video of what inspired this video. Kids from the Universe with Laura. It's under 8 minutes, not too long. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye. I noticed that I say goodbye, but I don't give you enough time to say goodbye to me and react. So there you go. Okay. I see it now. Have a blessed day. Yeah, email me. You can comment in here with that link or email me at colorfulforesight@gmail.com. Yeah. I want the positive goes back too. So I'm going to trust you, the positive one, because some of them was just, I don't know, I question what there was another one. And some of them are good, but they're a little too scary for me. Take care. Ooh, I feel like I have like a little hot flash going on. Woo, 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 woo.